This is Kim Taylor. It's Tuesday, June 29th. It's 4:50. This is the Harbor Management Commission Harbor Master Search Committee meeting, in person and on the phone. The public it will not be heard. However, any public comments should be sent to hmc@fairfieldct.org with Harbor Master Search in the subject line. All comments should include a name and street address to be included in the minutes. Okay, we're meeting. So we're reviewing a draft description of the job, Harbor Master job.
That would be posted on the town website.
Right.
This is a proposal, so this is open for discussion among the search committee members. So
I think having a 3-year term is an appropriate time.
That's what it's been, I think.
That's set by statute. Yeah. It's set by statute, yeah.
Some of the specific responsibilities I extracted from the job summary that's posted online. I just try to say the same thing a little more, well, it's obvious.
Should we have in specific responsibilities, should we include something about the using a database online? Did I miss it?
You might have. God, isn't that obvious? Maintains records of relevant data, including size, type, and number of boats using the harbor report, harbor activities, file incident reports. I mean, we can be specific. We can spell that out.
We wouldn't necessarily list online warning.
Exactly.
No, right.
Because that could change.
That could go away. Right.
But I tell you, since we have been without a harbor master, I have been spending time with mooring holders, weightless people, and online mooring, and it's a lot. It's a lot. I mean, using online mooring is the system to get information to help people who want to know or who haven't paid or who haven't.
Well, you've got the preferred qualification.
That's true.
That's true. We can add it in. Well, let's just keep.
I mean, presumably anybody who applies for this position is going to know that we use an online database.
Well, they're going to know it if we interview them.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. And we're willingness to perform hands-on computer data entry and extract reports when necessary.
Okay.
Proficient and comfortable with personal computers utilizing standard and specialized software. I specifically didn't say online mooring for that reason. But again, we can throw something in.
You've done this much more than I have, and so I don't know whether if you think if it's covered in the qualifications.
Maybe we do need a distinct bullet. Sometimes you get in so deep you can't see the forest from the trees.
Well, that's it. I don't want to do that. Yeah.
No matter who it is, it's going to take a while for things to get up to speed to what's going on.
Right.
Oh, right.
It's not going to happen.
No. it's a lot to undertake.
It is. It is a lot to undertake.
Do we want to say how much it pays?
I wouldn't do that.
I mean, it pays nothing. That's the.
This friend, he said his friend researched. It pays $3.
Yeah.
$660 a month, plus $750 a year from the state.
I don't know that you want to put that in, certainly in an interview.
Right.
I mean, it might screen people out initially that think they're going to get rich doing this.
Well, as I recall, when we did it the last time, there were a number of people who applied who wanted a job,
Right.
a full-time
Right.
job.
I mean, we could, under basic qualifications, willingness to work for minimal compensation.
Okay.
We could say something like that. Willingness to work, and you either are or you aren't.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, if you're looking for a job, you're not going to have a lot of money.
Right. Right. If you think you're going to quit your job at X, Y, and Z company and go be in Southport for the summer,
Right.
Right. Right. You're not going to eat if this is your only source of income.
Yeah.
Do
Right.
we want to say it's a part-time job? I mean,
It really is.
it
Yeah.
really is. And it's
Because, after the end of May, month of May, June, July, August, and September, after that, okay, you're on to the next season, but it's not.
Right. I mean, even the crunch time, January, February, and March. I mean, it is, even the crunch time is, you're dealing with 150 max records and boats. And that's going to even be diminished because the North Anchorage is going to be managed by Pequot next year. So there's going to be significantly, well, I don't know about significantly, but there are going to be fewer things to do in that January to March time frame.
I'm still thinking, though, in general, it's a part-time job, but in an emergency, it's not.
Correct.
And so
Good point.
do we maybe just have that be a strong talking point in an interview? I mean, it's hard to put that in here because you don't want someone, there's a hurricane blowing through the harbor and Pequot's overwhelmed and the harbor master says, well, you told me it was a part-time job.
Right.
I'm only working 4 hours a day.
Right. Good point.
Or it could be full-time while you're getting all the permit, things squared away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it might be full-time then, and you're not having anything to do in July.
Right.
I almost
It's got to be somebody who's doing it for the love.
Yes.
Right.
Right. Exactly. Now there was this one fellow, and the one fellow who might be interested from Westport wanted Social Security. So that would be, you're not going to get payout into Social Security that's worthwhile. So that's the only reason why I bring it up. The salary.
Yeah.
I mean, that would almost be another screening, it would almost be
It's a tough one.
It's a state position.
right.
And the state determines what
Correct.
they're going to give as any benefits.
Right. And so to that point, that's a good point. If somebody is really it would bother me if that was a really important criterion for someone.
Yeah.
But if they're that worried about it, then call the state and do your own research.
Yeah. Yeah, good point.
We can't speak for the state.
I have no idea what that looks like.
Compensation.
Yeah, no idea what that looks like. Yeah.
Right.
And the state will change tomorrow.
Right.
That's
Exactly.
true, too.
Exactly.
That's
It
true,
will
too.
Change again.
Yeah.
In a month.
That's true, too.
If they're that worried about it, I would almost argue that that's the wrong reason.
Yeah.
We had a couple of those.
We did.
Anyway, let's.
Well, I think and it's certainly in terms of specific responsibilities, you've covered all the highlights. I mean, I can't
And again, we go over it in an interview.
Correct.
And you would expect people coming to an interview to be prepared with questions. And if they're not, well, that's another red flag.
That's another, right.
Now, also, the harbor master himself should be physically fit in order to operate a boat.
Yep.
Well, that's
and like for myself right now, I'm having knee problems.
yeah.
Okay. Not that could eliminate me, but it could.
Sure.
Because I don't know the outcome.
Right. And we didn't look at that during the last search. So that's why I have in red here the other, and this, I forget which harbor might have had this. It might have been Bridgeport or some port in California, but a number of positions focused on the physical ability of the harbor master. I mean, if we're going to have a boat for them and they can't get in and out of a boat, but being able to access all areas of the harbor, including below docks. I mean, I don't think we can unequivocally count on Pequot to do every last bit of work for us. And if we have a harbor master that is not, we have to watch for people with disabilities.
Right.
So,
right.
That's,
right.
And make accommodations. And there was one I deleted from here, but one harbor master posting reference must be able to lift 15 pounds. Now, I don't know where they got that number.
Or why.
Yeah. But the job position might be, regardless of whether it is, but they had a lifting requirement in there. I don't know that we have, and how do you defend it?
Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to think of a job, part of a task on the job that would require.
Right.
How about lifting an anchor?
And who are you unintentionally excluding by putting that requirement in? That's the key.
I mean, okay, a small anchor for the harbor master boat. That's one. Any other anchors? People.
Right.
Launch.
They would use the barge.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm thinking of if they take the whaler out into the outer harbor and they're drifting. I mean, and they throw an anchor over, then they got to be able to get the anchor back up.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know if that's where the 15 pounds would come.
Yeah. I don't know. 15 or 5 or 10, whatever.
Yeah.
But if those ones, I'm just skittish about those. But I don't.
Well, can we say needs to be in good physical shape, or is that too vague?
Some of the positions I looked, they talked about being fit and passing physicals, and I just what's fit to you might be different for me.
Yeah. No, but able to move around. I mean, so what we're really saying is we want somebody who can move in and out of a boat comfortably, on and off a dock comfortably, have some amount of balance to be able to manage in a small boat. Do we want them to be able to start and stop start an engine?
I don't know.
But is the engine?
I have no idea.
I don't know what it is that they're giving.
Yeah.
I would tend to think that we didn't get this.
Okay, so that's not a big deal.
I think.
Okay. You're nodding.
I'm always thinking of where we're going to get in trouble.
Okay, good.
Accommodating people with physical disabilities.
Yeah.
These physical ADA.
Yeah.
So if we put down something that could arguably exclude someone with an arguable disability, we should be prepared to try and accommodate that. I'm thinking worst possible case. I mean, maybe it's being able to access all areas of the harbor, including below dock. That connotes agility.
The below dock, any of our docks, that means they're going swimming. That means a life saver.
Well, or low tide at Lower Wharf, you could walk under there.
Right.
You can walk around the yacht yard dock at low tide.
Right.
Can
Yeah.
Yeah. Those dinghies are on the mud flat. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I don't know that we need to resolve this right now,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
well, by posting time.
By
If we
posting
post
time.
it, it's posted, and that's the thing. And then you look back at who our previous harbor masters were, and someone could argue that they were not
Right.
And Pat. Right.
Especially.
And it's only been 7 or 8 years that he's been on.
Yeah.
I would be very cautious about this one. I think during an interview, but do we want them to be able to work in inclement weather and with usual hazards associated with harbor sites? I would think so.
I would think so.
I mean, if
that would be
that's
very
important. Can you and if you think you don't like, being in your dinghy or whatever, flipping around in a hurricane, don't take the job. Has it ever happened?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you would not catch me down southward in a hurricane.
Right.
I would make it as secure as I can.
Before.
Right.
But you wouldn't be the harbor master. The harbor master might have to be there in an emergency.
Right.
That's
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Be able to work weekends and holidays as needed, particularly during peak season. How would we play that out? I mean, he doesn't have an office, or she doesn't have an office down there.
Well, do we want to say, well, we're talking about work, though. It doesn't necessarily mean right down there.
Correct.
A lot of the work gets done at home.
Yeah.
A lot of the work gets done in front of the computer.
Right. So, and if there's an issue at the harbor on the weekend, which is typically when things are booming down there,
That's when you got people.
Right. That's when something could happen. The probability of something happening is greater there. So if you're going to sit home in your little cocoon and say I'm not working weekends, but let the harbor blow up, well, that's not.
No, we don't want that.
Right. And be able to hear and see alarms and dangers or hazards. That I took right. I mean, this is off another town's posting.
Well, think about it. If that country club alarm that lightning is in the area sounds, and the harbor master is there, the harbor, we want him to know that alarm has just gone off. I mean, on the country club? Really? Oh, often. Oh, yeah, with lightning? Oh, yeah. Oh, really? The golfers come in? Yeah.
Well, I mean, at my house.
Oh, you've never? Wow.
No.
Wow. You hear it at the harbor?
Yeah.
I mean, if I were in the harbor, sure.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But
so it doesn't travel. But for a while I worked over at the Par 3. You could hear it. You could hear the country club, the Par 3.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Depends on which way the wind is blowing.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah, it's because we all know to scramble when we hear that.
Yeah. But I think that's a good one. We want
to see alarms and dangers. I mean, the person has to be able to see a hazard.
Yeah.
I don't think it's unreasonable to expect that somebody who is visually impaired is appropriate for the job.
Right.
I think you have to be able to see a hazard.
Right.
If you're a harbor master.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I agree. The first one must be able to access all areas of the harbor. You know, we still don't officially even have a boat. So if we don't have, and we probably are not going to have a boat because we've applied, but we haven't heard anything from the town. So
if somebody's willing to donate a boat to us, I mean,
yeah, why
why
you have to apply for a grant. It's a grant application, and so there's this reams of paperwork that we've done, and then you give it to the finance people, and they yes or no. And it's been in the hands of the finance people for at least a month, 6 weeks. And apparently not everybody, somebody in that office had some major surgery, so they're not around to act on it. And the lieutenant has not. So it's sitting there. And at this point, Pequot, because of COVID and, you know, boats are in scarce supply, they've requested that they want to use it for the summer because they can't get the boat that they've bought to replace it. So we're not going to have a boat, even if the town okays it, till middle of August.
okay.
So we wouldn't. I mean, all I'm pointing out is that we're asking them to access the harbor, but we're not. We need to.
I think this was I know I extracted it from a physical requirement. So I have a feeling that this was more related to physical agility.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
But we might just want to take that out and just forget the physical piece, other than seeing alarms.
Either that or just make a simple statement that the harbor master is the relative to action.
Our HR person just grimaced.
That's a very subjective term. How do you measure that? You know? I'm not trying to...
Well, do we want to say can get in and out of a Boston whaler easily?
Yeah.
From a dock?
Yeah, because if we have the Boston whaler,
right,
must be comfortable getting in and out of a
17-foot.
Okay, so
yeah.
Must be comfortable.
I mean, you also don't want to make it so that you're tying your own hands.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, because let's face it, somebody who applies for this job is somebody who's probably past retirement.
Yeah.
Right. And none of us are what we used to be.
Right.
I mean, you're not going to find some, I don't think, that's 50 years old that's willing to take the sign or whatever.
Well, it doesn't matter because age isn't a factor here.
Right. We don't care. Yeah, we don't care how old they are, but we certainly, age has nothing to do with, but a certain level of agility and comfort around and in
comfort
around and in boats.
Yeah. So must be comfortable getting in and out of. Is it 17-foot or powered or unpowered? Or what?
It's a 17-foot powered Boston whaler.
Powered boat.
Power boat. Yeah.
Power boat.
Yeah.
I don't think Pequot has any inflatables that you have to pull.
Okay.
like a Zodiac or whatever.
For the moment, to start.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think they're all
Okay, good.
not that.
Yeah.
Not that means that.
But I'm sure you're right, actually, now that I think of it. Yeah, because they've all, yeah.
So aside from this posting, we should have, I mean, because, how many times did this come up in the interviews 2 years ago? Is there going to be a vote? I mean, how do you have a harbor master without a vote?
Without a vote.
To go check,
Yeah.
Are we going to have one or not? Is there a way to get that? Is there a way to use the current opening to accelerate the decision on the vote? Okay. No. Okay. Because I was wondering if it's a question of if it's a town-owned vote, whether they're willing to assume the risk associated with that.
Oh, yeah. We've checked in with the town risk manager.
Yeah.
They're good. Everybody's good to go. The only thing we need is yes, and the paperwork says that there is no expense to the town at this point, that we can cover the expenses associated with the vote.
And okay.
So I think just that everybody's been so overwhelmed.
Yeah. Well, and so if we start interviews, say in a month, and we don't have an answer to that.
Well, the best case would be middle of August when the junior program is over and Pequot no longer needs to vote. Because even if if next week they say to us, you can have Pequot's vote, we can't have it because they need it.
Right.
So,
but if someone is considering, if we're interviewing and someone's considering whether they're really interested, and they wouldn't be interested if there isn't a vote, because there were people. You're right. We can't mislead them either.
Yeah.
There may be a vote. There may not be a vote. There'll be a vote at the end of the season. But, but that doesn't mean the only time of the year they would be using the vote would be during voting season.
Right. Right. And Pequot has generously offered use of their fleet of dinghies to the harbor master when they're available. So it's not like if we don't have our own boat, we wouldn't be expecting someone in that position to go on the water in a 17-foot size ish powerboat.
But even if we did their launch.
Right.
They're going to get in, go.
Right. So do we want to include that as getting in and out of the boat as a requirement?
I think you should. Because they're going to know at some point.
And I can imagine a situation when there's so much going on in the harbor that the harbor master is the one who's got to get in the boat and go out to the breakwater and do something. I guess. I mean, I don't know. Is it sufficient if he calls the Marine Police? Is it sufficient if he calls the fire department or the the fire department? Right. Would the fire department take the harbor master out in their boat? I don't know. I mean, Pequot would take the harbor master out in their boat. I can't imagine having a harbor master that said, no, I can't go.
I wouldn't use this. I would use this if we were going to put it in as a preferred qualification, because I don't know how you would rule somebody out if you put it as a basic yes or no. If somebody says, okay, how do we determine from a resume that somebody is or isn't qualified getting in and out of the boat?
Well, you're right. We wouldn't.
And you probably wouldn't during an interview either.
Right. Well, you'd be making all sorts of judgments if you
would.
Which you don't want to be doing.
Correct.
Correct. So then let's put it in as a preferred qualification, right? Because then they're going to, whoever takes a look at the posting is going to see it.
And we're saying must be comfortable. We're not
Yeah.
saying you must be able to get in and out of a boat.
Yeah, no,
We're not
okay.
determining whether you get in and out or not. You have to be comfortable.
Right. Right. So if you needed Pequot to drive you, you need to get in,
Yeah.
but you might not have to be the operator.
Correct.
Yeah.
I think that's okay.
Okay.
Do you still want to wait when? They're clearly not coming.
It's
to this
not.
meeting.
They're not coming.
So, do you? I think we should have their input before we go
I agree.
through with.
I agree. I think we need to have everybody on the same page.
Right. Because they're going to be part of the interviewing
Yeah.
process
Yeah.
too.
I don't think.
And they may have other things to add, or they might want to take something out. This is just a straw. I have no pride of authorship.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah. It does not appear that I did not hear from Jack. I don't.
Yeah. We still.
So really, so on the agenda, the next agenda item was posting the job description. So maybe we could just what I'd like to do with this draft is to make sure that Sam and Jack see it, and then at our next meeting finalize this. But we could certainly at this meeting just begin to remind ourselves or think about where we would post the description so that maybe at the next meeting we could get to the.
Wouldn't post it on the town website.
Is that what we did
Yes,
last time?
that's what we did. And so that's accessible to everyone. And I think there was there a thing also on the town website saying their harbor master position was open. Here's the link to apply. I think there was something like that. Betty would know.
Betty would.
And there may have been a blurb in the Citizen saying the same.
There was a blurb somewhere, I think, and
Yeah.
I forget whether it was
Yeah.
the Citizen or the Patch.
Well, either way,
Yeah.
something. But it's up to people to go on and they apply online.
Right. Or did they mail? They mailed resumes. They mailed. We didn't take email. This is what we sent out last time.
Commission is accepting resumes, right? That's right. I forgot they didn't.
Right. It had to be mailed, and it went to town hall, and Betty stamped them, and then she, I believe, let us know that they were there and forwarded them by.
This is why I wish. Whether online applications are now required. Many companies do that now. Is that required? That's a question.
Okay.
Otherwise, we go with what we did. If we're willing to do this, and they have 2 weeks. I guess the next question is, how long do you want to leave that open? I would think we would want to be interviewing by mid to end of July. I don't know. Are people around?
I'm going like the 22nd to almost the end of July.
Okay.
And I know Sam will be too.
Okay. So I guess you guys.
So the question is,
what the interview window is.
Well, maybe if this is June 29th, and we don't meet again for at least another week and a half, then we're already in the middle of July, and by the time we post it for 2 weeks, could say August 1st deadline.
Yeah, and then we're interviewing at some point in August.
Then we're interviewing in August.
And a lot of people be on vacation then, too.
Right. I'm around in August.
Not just
Yeah.
this group, but the applicants.
The applicants.
The last time, I think we were interviewing in August.
We worked through the summer, as I recall.
We did.
Yeah, we worked through the summer. It was because that's dated June 21st, right?
22.
So, and our letter and the appointment last time didn't happen until September, early September.
At the earliest, I think.
September 11th.
Oh, really?
Yeah, was the official appointment day. So,
Okay.
I mean, I don't know what else to.
It is what it is.
Yeah,
You won't get it soon.
Right.
right.
And even if they fast track it, it's going to take them at least 2 to 3 weeks.
I would think so too, especially if nothing has gone wrong, if things are in quiet and we,
But
So-
by then we might know about the book.
we might exactly. By interview time, we might
Yeah.
know about the vote. I mean, I suppose we could compromise and say 3 weeks for that
The thing's posted.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it buys you nothing. It's like the sleeves out of your vest because we're not going to be ready to interview.
Right.
So we get the applications and then we'd have to sit and screen them.
Right.
And we'd be screening against the basic qualification.
Right. But we could do that. We could do that before. Well, we could do that if we were going to be around. We could do that before the window closed.
And then
What
we have the challenge because I think didn't Norman do all the interview scheduling? Reserving. Jim did.
Jim and Norman.
Reserving, reserving the library rooms to interview or reserving the conference room. Who knows whether we're going to be able to do that? They were shocked downstairs that we were having a meeting in here today. So
I believe
we'd have to be interviewing by Zoom.
I believe the golf commission, when they picked the new pro, did all of that
Online,
on
yeah.
WebEx.
Well, that's
In some ways, that would be easier because they don't have to worry about rooms and
rooms, right? We just have to worry about lots of times that we're up. I would think Zoom would be the better way, so you can see people's reactions versus just a conference call.
WebEx. Well, WebEx is like Zoom.
Oh, okay. So you can see them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have to see,
We have to,
and they have to see us.
Yeah.
I mean, they have to see reactions.
right.
Well,
So maybe what we do is we review this. We get a copy to Jack and Sam.
okay.
We have a meeting in a next meeting, July.
If you give me Jack and Sam's email, I can do a cover letter for you.
Oh, that would be great.
It should come from you, I think. Or why don't I just send you? I'll send you a soft copy.
Okay.
That's what
Okay.
we'll do.
Okay. And then I'll forward it on to them.
But explain that this is not cast in concrete.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a draft, and
Yeah.
we need input. So the week of the 12th. Does Tuesday work for you? Harry, is there a day of the week that works better?
Fridays don't work for me. I'm
Okay.
sailing in the afternoon.
Good. Okay.
Tuesday in general is okay.
Okay.
Because I'm off.
Oh, okay. Good work.
They let you off, huh?
The store's closed on Monday.
Oh, okay. And you take 2
And you
years.
take, I think
You're
that's
the
very
king of the
wise.
hill.
Very wise. Well, there's Tuesday, July 13th.
I'll look.
Well, why don't you look? Yeah, look. Let's tentatively
Okay.
say Tuesday, July 13th.
I don't think this is
Ooh, St. Gloria.
There are other people. No, well, this is the higher powers. This is tentative, and we also have the 14th and the 15th. We have lots of days that week to choose from.
And are we going to get a feel for, I mean, I know Jack's in a situation. Is the other person committed to this, or I hate to be scheduling around someone that's just not going to show?
So let's plan to do that on the 13th.
We're here.
And we're here, and it's
You've got
5.
a call or a text.
It's 5:30, so we will we'll adjourn.